Imagine it's Australia Day, 1966, in the suburbs of Adelaide. It's a scorching summer morning, the kind where the air feels thick and the only place you want to be is in the water.
Seriously, it was like a furnace out there, hitting nearly 40 degrees Celsius. So the Beaumont kids, Jane, who was 9, Arnna, who was 7, and little 4-year-old Grant, decided to head down to Glenelg Beach for a bit of a splash.
And back then, letting your kids take the bus alone to the beach, that was just what you did. It was a short 5-minute trip from their house on Harding Street. Parents didn't think twice because it was a safer time, or at least we really thought it was.
They walked out the front door at 10 in the morning with a few shillings for the bus and some snacks, fully expecting to be home by 2 for lunch.
But they never made it back. Honestly, the vibe of the whole country changed the moment they didn't return. It's like Australia lost its collective innocence that afternoon.
It's the case that truly defines unsolved in our history. 3 kids, dozens of witnesses seeing them playing near a tall blonde man, and then just nothing. No bodies, no clothes, and a mystery that remains wide open today.
So let's talk about the kids for a second. It's January 26th, 1966, Australia Day, and it's a total scorcher in Adelaide.
Yeah, just perfect beach weather. You've got the Beaumont siblings, Jane, she's 9 and the oldest, then 7-year-old Arnna and little Grant, who is only 4.
Jane was really the one in charge, real responsible for her age. Their mom, Nancy, gave them some loose change for the fare and a few snacks, then waved them off to catch the 10 a.m. bus.
It was a super quick trip, too. Maybe 5 minutes from their home in Somerton Park down to Glenelg Beach. Nancy was expecting them back by lunchtime.
It was only a 3-kilometer journey, a route they'd done plenty of times. You can almost see them, can't you? Towels over their shoulders, just 3 siblings excited for a holiday dip.
Totally. And it's worth remembering that back then, this was the norm. Letting kids go to the beach alone wasn't seen as risky. It was just a typical Aussie summer. They were seen getting off that bus, happy and carefree, ready for the water.
Okay, so here's where things get really, deeply unsettling for me. It wasn't like these kids just vanished into thin air without a trace. Multiple people saw them that morning, and they definitely weren't alone.
It's so eerie. Dozens of witnesses spotted the Beaumont kids hanging out with this tall, thin guy. He had blonde hair, maybe in his mid-20s, and he wasn't acting suspicious or anything. He was just lying there on his towel while the kids played in the sprinkler nearby.
Right, and it gets even weirder. A local shopkeeper actually remembers Jane coming into the shop to buy meat pies and a pastry. She paid with a pound note.
And that's the kicker, right? Her mom, Nancy, was super clear that she only gave the kids enough coins for their bus fare and a little snack. She definitely didn't give her a pound note.
It really makes you stop and think. They were so relaxed with this man. It feels like they either knew him from somewhere else or he was just incredibly good at playing the friendly neighbor role. That level of comfort is what really gives me the chills. So imagine Nancy. She's standing at that bus stop, just checking her watch. Noon comes and goes, right? No kids. Then 2 o'clock rolls around and that next bus pulls up. Still nothing. You can just feel that cold knot starting to tighten in her stomach.
Oh, I can't even imagine. It's that universal parent instinct hitting hard. Then Jim finally gets back from his sales trip, and you can only picture the panic in that house. By the time the sun is dipping down, they're at the local police station, totally desperate.
And the search that followed, it was massive. Honestly, probably the biggest Australia had ever seen at the time. The whole community turned out. We're talking hundreds of people coming through every salt scrub bush, every sand dune along Glenelg, even knocking on doors to check backyards.
It's just so eerie because Glenelg was absolutely packed that day. It was a public holiday during a major heat wave. There were thousands of people around. Yet by the next morning, this crushing reality sets in. 3 kids had seemingly vanished into thin air from a crowded beach. Just gone.
So the investigation honestly started getting pretty wild. And if we're being real, super desperate at times. I mean, they were following every single lead, no matter how out there it felt.
Oh, for sure. That's when things took a turn into the supernatural, right? They actually flew in that famous Dutch psychic, Gerard Croiset.
Yeah, Croiset was a huge deal back then. He had this specific vision that the kids were buried right under the concrete floor of a brand new warehouse.
And the crazy part is, the police actually listened. They dug up the entire floor of this property while the media watched like absolute hawks. Can you imagine the spectacle?
It was a total circus, but they found absolutely nothing. Zip, just dirt and concrete.
Man, that must have been a massive blow to the family's morale. Just a total gut punch after building up all that hope.
Definitely. The whole case just became this national obsession. Everyone had a theory, and the cops were chasing every weird tip down these endless rabbit holes, but every lead just turned into another dead end.
So, looking back over the decades, some really dark names have been linked to this mystery. It's not like there's a shortage of villains in the history books, right?
For sure. I mean, you've got Bevan Spencer von Einem. He was a convicted child killer tied to the family murders in Adelaide years later. People have wondered for a long time if the Beaumont kids were where it all started for him.
Then there's Arthur Stanley Brown, who was tied to other disappearances. What really gets me is when you look at the police sketches of that tall, blonde man from the beach. Honestly, they look eerily like some of these guys.
It's a gut punch. You see the sketches, then you see the mugshots, and it feels like a match. But the huge hurdle is that there's never been enough hard physical evidence. No DNA, no clothing, no items found to actually make a charge stick.
It's so frustrating. It feels like the answer is right there, just out of reach, hidden behind 50 years of silence and missed opportunities.
Totally. It's like staring at the final puzzle piece, but the edges just won't click into place.
You'd think after 50 years, the trail would be stone cold, but this case just won't stay buried. Even recently, there was this huge excavation at a factory site over in North Plimpton.
Right, the Harry Phipps lead. He was a pretty wealthy local guy back in the day. But the crazy part is that his own son was the one who suspected him. He basically pointed the finger at his dad, which is just heavy to think about.
It really is. The police took it seriously, though. They brought in ground-penetrating radar and actually found a big anomaly under the concrete. For a minute there, the whole country held its breath. We all thought the mystery was finally over.
But then the inevitable letdown. They dug it up and just found old animal bones and literal trash. It's like the case is cursed with these flashes of hope that only lead to more grief. Every time a new lead pops up, it feels like the wound just gets ripped open again. It's honestly devastating.
It's just so incredibly heavy when you think about Jim and Nancy Beaumont. They both passed away recently, and they went to their graves without ever getting a single real answer about what happened to their children. Just imagine living 50 years with that kind of silence.
It's heartbreaking, honestly. And in a lot of ways, the Beaumont disappearance is the moment Australia lost its innocence. Before that summer morning in 1966, it was a completely different world down there. It was a leave your front door unlocked kind of place.
Yeah, it changed the culture overnight. It's the reason parents stopped letting their kids roam free or head to the beach alone. Suddenly, people were actually locking their doors at night and keeping a much tighter leash on their little ones. That sense of total safety just evaporated.
For sure. And even though it's been over 50 years, the case file is still wide open. The police haven't given up. Those 3 kids are still out there somewhere. And the mystery stays just as vivid as it was then.
It really is a haunting, sun-drenched mystery that's deeply baked into the Australian psyche. It's like a summer day that never really ended, leaving a whole nation still looking for answers that might never come.